Good morning, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode here at Wildman Lifts. I'm your host, Wildman. Now on today's episode, the Carnivore and I popped into the gym and we did some seated shoulder press. Now when it comes to a main compound movement for the shoulder press, it really depends on what kind of goal you have. If you're doing strongman, if you're doing CrossFit, powerlifting, or you're just trying to get stronger in the gym, there's different kinds of shoulder presses that you can do that will help you with the sport. However, the seated shoulder press is a great exercise to start with because not only will it build the strength of your shoulders and your size, it'll also help with stability and carry over into the bench press, which is what a lot of people like to do when they go to the gym, is improve in that specific lift. So let's pop in and let me show you what I'm talking about. So on today's menu for the Strength Giant set, we're doing the seated shoulder press, which is a great movement to do for overall strength. And it's pretty safe comparative to the other shoulder lifts that you could be doing. And Frank is wearing his Grumpy Cat shirt, which is kind of funny because his nickname is Grumpy Cat because he makes that face a lot when he doesn't want to do anything. So kind of ironic he's wearing that shirt today. And we're also going to be doing some monster tire flip jump throughs. This is a great exercise that is very functional, works your athleticism and your explosiveness as well. And it's a great warm-up to do as you're lifting heavy. And we're also going to be doing some anger management as we do some sledgehammer strikes on the tire for oblique work and shoulder health and some worked out minor aggression. And look who's back. It's my buddy Tom. Tom's been in my other videos before on my channel, and he saw us working out today and he thought, well, I kind of want to work in with you guys today. So he doesn't usually train the way that I train clients, and he's not an actual client of mine, but he jumped in for today's workout. So he's going to follow the same exact giant set strength format that I wrote for Frank. And he's just going to kind of be suffering through it with him. But he always does very well in all my workouts. So I'm hoping one day he takes one of my programs and follows it all the way through. So that's the strength giant set for the day. And yes, I'm going to be standing off to the side there, being a little creeper, watching Frank lift these weights and making sure that I give him a guilty stare so that he does the movement correctly. And I'm also going to be helping Tom out as well. And Tom's going to use kind of a different technique than Frank is. Maybe you won't notice it because it's very, very slight. So Tom's going to have a bigger arch in his back, which is going to get his chest a little bit more involved. And he's only going to bring it down to chin level. And you'll see what that looks like in a minute. Versus you'll see how Frank does this. Frank's getting a lot more range of motion. Now, the way that I like to coach the seated shoulder press is I just say get it to your chin, or it can go lower, right? It doesn't need to go below your chin, and you can press more weight if it goes to your chin, and that's just the way it is because it's less range of motion. But Frank is going to actually go all the way down to his chest, and you'll see Tom here. He's going to stop right there at his chin. He's got a nice big arch in his back. And that's actually a very good technique because look at that. He's able to press more weight, as you'll see later on, and he's much more efficient. So realistically, I actually like the way Tom was pressing, and I'm not knocking the way that Frank is pressing, but he's doing a lot more work. And in this point of the program, it doesn't really matter because he's a beginner. So when you're a beginner novice, it's best to build the strength in your shoulders in the method that feels most comfortable to you. And you'll see here for his last repetition here, it's going to be a really big grinder, which is what I wanted. This is supposed to be the Tough 6 program. So I was very pleased with him that he was able to hit 155 pounds for 6 tough repetitions. And as Frank is doing his tire flips and his sledgehammer strikes, look at how Tom is pressing. So because his setup is a bigger arch and because he's going to his chin, he's able to fight these reps a lot better than what Frank could do. And it's just, there's no right or wrong way to the seated shoulder press as long as you go to your chin. So I told Frank not to go up any more weight, but he insisted. He wanted to move to the next tier. And the idea is you can move up to the next tier if you can do 2 reps. So he almost got it. I had to help a little bit, but really I just put my fingers on it. And Frank somehow found more strength and started to push it up regardless. Now for Tom here, he's able to get in a much better position of advantage And you can see he's kind of cheating the reps a little bit right there because he's not going all the way down to his chin anymore. He's kind of stopping where his nose is. So it was a good attempt and a great effort by Tom. That went well. And it was kind of cool that Tom was in the gym that day and wanted to pop in and work out with Frank the Carnivore. Thanks, Tom, for popping in. Now this next portion is being sponsored by Rok Hardware and Cabinets. So go ahead and pop into their website, check out their YouTube channel, and see if there's any upcoming home projects you want to do and you want to be able to use their stuff to help you out with that. Now let's pop in and let's see what Frank and Tom are doing now. So here I am coaching the kettlebell clean and press, which is what we're going to be doing for the variation giant set. And we're going to do that for 3 rounds. So here I was demonstrating how to clean it to your shoulder properly. And then what I wanted to see when they pressed that kettlebell overhead, which was mainly to use their whole entire body. They still weren't getting it after a while. I was coaching them for a minute. So I took the heaviest kettlebell in the entire gym and I wanted to show what it looks like when it's actually heavy for me and how I move my body so I can transfer that energy into the kettlebell. And it took a while, but it was a good time to practice. So they ended up using lightweight to practice the movement, which is kind of tough because this isn't a difficult weight for Frank. So he wasn't really using the correct body portion to get into the air. But regardless, it was good because when he did go up in heavier weight, he still wasn't doing it right. So this is going to take a minute to practice. And I kind of expected that because this is a very technical movement. Now, the reason why I'm having Frank do this type of variation lift is because I'm going to start having him train ground to overhead, like how I train. And this is a great way to learn how to use your entire body since kettlebells are such an awkward implement and you have to use a lot of technique. So that was why we did that. And I continued with the same format of having him use the monster tire to flip and to jump through, and to continue to do the sledgehammer strikes for oblique work, explosiveness, and for shoulder health. Now, when it comes to the assistance portion, what I wanted to do was build Frank on his front rack position on his shoulders and his overhead stability while still making his shoulders even and working his obliques. And these are great exercises to do for everything I just listed. Now let's pop in and let's see what we did. So for the assistance, we were doing 3 rounds and I was having him do offset carries. And I was gonna have one arm suspended in the air for a waiter's walk while the other one kept the front rack position. And there's different kinds of offset carries and different variations. This is just one. So I'd have him walk to one end of the gym, turn around, and then switch arms. And like I'll show later, there's another offset carry that you could do. There's actually several kinds you can do. But the reason why I'm having him do this was to basically work his front rack positions, his shoulder stability, and his core, mainly his obliques. And I guessed it, we're doing the wild man flags again, not dragon flags because we are using momentum, as somebody pointed out to me in the comments. So these are wild man flags to work your core. And this is the other offset carry that we had where he would front rack it and then he would do a farmer's walk with the other one. And then he would switch hands on the other side of the gym. And that was the assistance giant set. Now, when it comes to the accessory portion for shoulders, I like to keep everything well balanced and to finish off all those little tiny muscles and tendons that are often overlooked when you're lifting heavy. So let's pop in and let me show you what the accessory portion looks like for shoulders. For the accessory portion, we were doing 3 rounds of side delt raises. Does that look kind of familiar? He was just doing that with the kettlebell with the front rack position. So that is an extra accessory movement to do to make your front rack strong. And we're doing tricep push-ups. I love doing these on my shoulder days because I get my chest involved a little bit, but I'm mainly getting that push motion in my triceps worked. And of course, we're doing face pulls. Face pulls are vital to shoulder health. And on this shoulder workout day, this is what Frank ate. So that's in military time, in case you're wondering. So if you're curious what he did, this is what he ate for the day. So there you have it. The Carnivore has completed 4 days within the week of the Tough 6 program. The Tough 6 program is how I like to start beginners off to make sure that they at least gain a little bit of strength and some experience with a weight they know they can handle while getting a good workout as well that will keep them addicted to coming back to the gym. What you see is what you get. I always design workouts around the squat, the deadlift, the bench press, and some type of shoulder press. And this is a great program to follow. So if you ever want to just pop into the gym and you want to give these a try, you have everything on the last 4 episodes to build yourself a great workout and strength program. You can just follow that for 3 weeks and you will achieve optimal results by the end of those 3 weeks when you test your 1 rep max. I really appreciate you coming along for the ride, and stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you.